Good morning, good morning, good morning. So look, I'm getting unloaded and I'm starting to get hungry. So I'm gonna eat my lunch now because I started like at 4 this morning. So I have chicken salad. I'm gonna eat this now because it might get warm because I didn't bring my lunch bag that actually keeps things cool. So I'm gonna eat this now. Yeah. God, we thank you for our food, for living to the care, for listening, sharing, Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Father, we thank you. So, I have chicken salad. So, I'm going to start doing better with eating. And it's good. It's that Walmart chicken salad. They sell in the individual. The Popo's back here. What they back here for? Somebody must be doing something in the store. I ain't got too much to worry about my safety because the Popo's is patrolling. If y'all don't know what the Popo's is, the police. These crackers is breaking. Good morning. Yeah, somebody's stealing. Gotta be. I just came importantly back to the store. See what's gonna happen. I need to record and show y'all. Do they still do a paddy wagon? Anybody know if they still do paddy wagons? I don't know. I never been to jail. Small story. I feel like I can share this. I've never been to jail. I'm thankful to God I never go. I try to do things, righteously. Did it keep me out the way? Because I had two parents that went to prison. And I looked at their life and was like, I don't want to do like them. Especially when you have kids that make you, just want to do right because you want to make sure you're there for your child. But my mom, she's still in prison. She's been there for 24 years, I think. Has it been 25? It might be more than 24. I'm tripping. I think she did more than 24 years. And she's been there majority of my teenage years. So when I was 15, she was convicted of a crime, and when I was 16 is when she went to prison, and she's been there since I was 15. So I'm just telling my age, right? But yeah, so she's been there, and me and my youngest sister, my mother had 4 daughters. Her 2 oldest daughters got taken away from her by their biological father. He lost rights, and they were placed in the system. They tried to give my mom services, but she failed them. The foster parent that my 2 older sisters were with, she was allowing my mother to see my sisters on unscheduled visits, and so they removed them from the lady's house. I would never forget Miss Maddie Staten. She was an amazing woman. Every holiday, she would have me and my mom come over. She treated me just like I was one of her grandkids. a phenomenal woman. But unfortunately, my sisters got removed from her house, and they replaced with a woman, Miss, I ain't gonna name her name, but they was placed with a woman in Gary, Indiana. And later, she would adopt my second oldest sister, and my oldest sister got sent back to the family. My grandmother had got custody of my oldest sister, and we never got to see my second oldest sister until I was like 27. We had got reunited. She was living in Chicago at the time that I reunited with her. My dad is from there, so I had family in Chicago. So my dad, because he helped raise her when she was little, he went with me to go meet her after 21 years of us not seeing each other. I knew I had a sister. I knew her birthday. I knew her name. And I used to always wonder what it was that she was doing on her birthday, or what she was just doing in general, because I knew she grew up in Gary. And I was like, oh, Gary rough. But I didn't have it sweet either. Like, I had a messed up childhood life, and then experienced a lot of trauma as an adult. Never had any mental health illnesses. Never been diagnosed with a mental health illness. Never had behaviors. Never did nothing crazy. I just try to live my life, like I said, righteous. My mom's younger sister ended up getting me and my youngest sister when she went to prison. And so I was like the positive kid. She said I was kind of mouthy, but that's all. She never had to go to my high school. I did what I had to do. I never skipped school. I had no teen pregnancy. Well, later on in teen, but not like a 15, 16. I wasn't pregnant at that age. I was out of high school when I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. So I graduated from high school, went to college for a little bit. But yeah, just always worked. I started off in the healthcare field, so I was a home health aide. I started off doing that, and then after doing that for a while, I went to the warehouse and worked for Hewlett and Packard, HP. And then after that, went to school to get my CNA license. I did that and worked in that field for a long while. Worked in it so long I had even got married while I was a CNA. That was the worst job I think I've ever had. Like, salute to anybody that is a CNA, anybody that is a nurse, a doctor, anybody in the healthcare field. Man, that's a job. But I also want to salute to my truckers, because we make it happen too. You know, without truckers, y'all wouldn't have those medical supplies, that house, them clothes, the food in the grocery store. I'm delivering some food now. Well, not food, I'm delivering water, actually. So we know that's important. But anyway, so I'm just thankful to see where I came from and where I'm at now. Just always appreciative and praising God, because without him, I know for a fact I would not have made it without God. I'm telling you. And then just to speed up a little bit, I said I had got married while I was working in a nursing home. Maybe a year after us being married, my husband passed away. I was a widow with 2 kids. Now, my 2 kids I had was from a previous relationship. We didn't have kids together, and he had 3 children from a previous relationship. And 5 months after he passed away, my youngest sister was murdered in front of her 2 kids. She had a 2-month-old baby girl and a 3-year-old son. And the next day I got them, because I always had in my head, because my mom went to prison, I wanted to keep our family together. I didn't want my family to be divided like how me and my older sisters were divided. And so I got my sister's kids. I had 2 kids at the time, so my family instantly grew from 2 kids to 4. And I would say 9 months after my sister's passing, or maybe less, that's when I got reunited with my second oldest sister. She was like, dang, where's our older sister? Which I had no idea. So we both was like, okay, we need to find her. And several months after that, I got a call from Child Services saying that they seen that I was related to my oldest sister, and that I already had my youngest sister kids. Would I be interested in getting my eldest sister's child? And without a doubt, I never met her, didn't know what was going on. I said yeah, because I just wanted to keep my family together. And I got her. I had to wait, because they had something to tell me. So when I went to Child Services, I found out that my oldest sister was deceased, and she had been deceased for 9 years. The family did not know. It was like a nightmare. So it's like I was losing family members, like a domino effect, like within the same time frame. Like, first it was my husband, 5 months after that my sister, then several months after my sister, I found out my oldest sister was deceased. And so I never had met my niece, and I didn't care. I took her in, and Man, let me tell you, being a single parent, so I was a widow with 5 kids. And then also when I got my niece, I was pregnant with my 3rd biological child. So I literally, my family grew overnight. I'm a widow, young girl. I was like 27 years old and got these 6 kids. All I knew to do was just pray. And I knew that I was not going to allow my circumstances that was going on to predict or hinder me from achieving goals in life, or stopping me, or just making me become a victim and, you know, going into deep depression. I never allowed that to happen. I always kept my faith in God. I always kept praying, and even introduced it to my children. And it's amazing how the things that I taught them about God, they now have their own personal relationship with Him. And they talk about God a lot. Like 2 of my youngest ones, well, my biological youngest ones, because I have 3 biological, went on a Daniel fast for 21 days. And I mean, just amazing things started happening. And then they motivated me. So I need to get on my stuff and do my Daniel fast. But anyway, I had got my sister, and I was just like, I was losing all these people. And then I moved to Georgia from my hometown. I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. I had a relative that was living in Georgia, and she kept saying, dang, I wanted me and my husband come to Georgia so me and my husband can help you. And I'm very independent. I'm like, help me. She's like, yeah, you can live in my basement. Nah, girl, I'm gonna come look. I can get my own crib. And so I got a house. And first of all, I was kind of apprehensive. I'm like, I don't want to live in Atlanta. You know what goes on there? But it goes on everywhere now. I'm just leaving it at that. And so I went and fell in love with it. It was beautiful. Cost of living was like very affordable. You get a beautiful home for like an amazing price. Like I think I had like a 3,000 square foot home. I was paying like $1,100 a month. It was lovely, y'all. So anyway, I moved there, did pretty good, and after being there for about 3 years, I think, I lost my youngest sister's son. He had passed away from an accidental suicide, and I will share more on that later. But that was devastating. And so at that point, that was like my breaking point, I think. And my dad was like, because my dad from Chicago, he was like, he's like, once you move to Chicago, give it a chance here so I can help you and the kids. I ain't got to keep flying out there. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. So in the beginning, it was cool. Then I had to leave, go back to Georgia. Okay? But God's been good. He's been amazing. And the reason why I'm sharing this story is because if somebody right now that's going through and they feel like giving up and they feel like there is no hope, I'm here to tell you there is hope. God has a purpose and a plan for you. You don't understand it right now. You do not understand right now. And I'm telling you, you have to lean on God without your own understanding, because we don't understand the things and we think we have our lives figured out, and we don't. Only God knows the plans He has for our lives. And so I could have broken down. I could have gave up a long time ago. My mama, I was this 16-year-old girl with a mother in prison, facing 35 years. I could have gave up. But I became the backbone of my family, making sure that I kept my family together. I even had got custody of my youngest sister before she passed away. She was 16. I had got custody of her because I still had that mindset, keep your family together, keep your family together. You don't want to be divided how you and your older sisters were divided and separated and taken away. And so I'm just here to tell you, it seemed tough during that time, but I still was able to live life, smile, and enjoy the better things, in despite of losing my loved ones. And like I said, the hardest pain was losing a child. You know, I had got him when he was 3, and he passed away when he was 7, and it was so tragic and devastating, and so many things were, you know, said, and so many things transpired from it, but I stayed strong. You know, knowing that God had an assignment for me. And so I didn't give up. I always wanted to be a truck driver, even when I had those kids, but I knew at the time I could not, because they were so small and young. And it was a lot of behaviors, okay? You're dealing with 5 different personalities, and it can be world, you know, trying, because it's just, one person, you're dealing with that. But I'm here to tell you, with God, all things are possible. The small help that I did get, it definitely helped. When I moved to Illinois, when I needed to go somewhere, if I needed to go out of town, my dad was there to help. My aunt even helped one time. This from Chicago, you know, and I appreciate everybody that contributed. I also want to leave y'all with this. Make sure that you get life insurance. Life insurance is very important. Now, remember when I first got those kids, and a life insurance agent came to my house, and was offering me life insurance. And I said, I don't need nothing like that. Me and my kids is just fine. Not realizing I had already just went through 2 deaths, losing my husband, losing my sister. Didn't think I was going to lose nobody else, right? 2 sisters, I should say. And when I lost my son, he's really my maternal nephew, but I adopted him. He's my son. I want to talk about adoption too. I didn't have life insurance. I had money though. This is the crazy thing. I had money, but I was not responsible enough to get life insurance policies on me and my kids. You know, you can never be so sure and say, oh, nothing's going to happen to us, or my kids are not going to die. You don't know what's going to happen. So you always have to be prepared, just in case things like that happen. I had to go get a GoFundMe. That was embarrassing, you know, getting a GoFundMe when I had the funds to be able to pay for a life insurance policy for us. But that was definitely life-changing. I didn't give up. You know, like I said, my dad was helping me. I was working in Illinois. I started off as a forklift driver. I never went back into the healthcare field because I was just done with it. So I started off being a forklift driver. And then later on moved back to Georgia and said, you know what, my kids is old enough. One had moved out. She was grown. Another one was grown. My third oldest child, well, my second biological child, she was in high school. And the other girls were going to middle school. So I'm just like, you know, I think it's about time for me to start doing what I really want to do. And I want to be a truck driver. And I went to school. You know, God allowed for me to be this truck driver. And I'm in this industry. And I'm not stopping here. I think I'm going to be stopping with this, but in another way, transitioning. And then my next journey would be pilot school. But I want to show y'all because I'm all about showing people, you know. But just wanted to give somebody some encouragement, to motivate you, to inspire you, to let you know, don't give up, keep going. Don't claim depression. If you are depressed right now, do not claim it. I don't know if people know, but the words that we put into the universe, we speak those things into existence. Start telling yourself positive. I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. Keep saying it. I guarantee every day, slowly but surely, you will not be depressed. We can sometimes put ourselves in situations by what we're putting out. The power of the tongue. The power of the tongue speaks life and death. Start speaking positivity over your life right now, today. Start believing in yourself. I know it's hard. But that little belief that you have, use it. It's going to get you somewhere. It's going to take you somewhere. Okay, look, I got a call coming through that's very important. I will be talking to y'all later. Make sure you follow me on my YouTube channel, subscribe, my TikTok, my Instagram, and Facebook, and keep up with me. Make sure you guys comment because I love communicating back with you guys. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Have a blessed day.